Real English Lounge.
The art of everyday English.
Would you rather wake up early every day, never sleeping past 6, or stay up late every night, never in bed before midnight?
Stay up late.
You.
Me.
I thought you were an early morning person.
I am. That doesn't mean I'd choose it. You?
Wake up early, without hesitation.
Really?
Mornings are the best part of the day.
That statement alone is enough for an episode. Welcome to Real English Lounge. I'm Ethan.
And I'm Claire. Would you rather wake up early or stay up late? Science has an opinion, so do we, and we disagree.
Subscribe on YouTube if this podcast is helping your English.
Comment challenge, early bird or night owl? Tell us which one and what you actually do at that time. One sentence in the comments in English.
Level check. B1 to B2. English for opinions, daily routines, science, and the kind of personal preference debate that works in any conversation.
Word tour today. Chronotype, alert, productive, ritual, sacrifice, and compromise. 6 words for this debate and the life questions around it. Let me make the case for early mornings, because I think it gets dismissed as either a personality type or a discipline thing, and it's neither.
What is it?
Strategy. The early morning is the only part of the day that belongs entirely to you, before the world starts asking things of it. No emails have arrived yet. No one needs anything yet. The decisions haven't started.
A protected window.
Exactly. I do my best thinking before 9. The ideas that come in that first hour, before I've looked at anything, before I've been reactive to anything, are clearer than anything that comes later.
But doesn't waking up at 6 require going to bed at 10?
Usually around 10:30, 11, which means giving up the late evening.
Which is the sacrifice.
It is. But what do most people actually do after 10 p.m.? Watch something, scroll. Not the most productive use of the hours.
Heh, that is suspiciously accurate.
The trade seems unfair until you look at what you're actually trading.
Okay, the night owl case.
Defend yourself.
The night has a quality that the morning doesn't. Everything is wound down. The notifications stop. The expectations stop. You're finally free to do whatever is actually interesting to you.
Like what?
Reading things you actually want to read. Working on something that's yours. Having the kind of conversation that doesn't happen during the day because there's always something else demanding attention.
The night is when people do the things they keep saying they'll do.
Because it's finally quiet enough. No one's going to ask you for anything at 11 p.m.
Fair, but the cost is the morning.
The morning where I'm slow. The morning where I'm working against my natural rhythm instead of with it.
Is that genuinely how you feel in the morning?
Genuinely. Before 10, I'm functional but not sharp. Between 10 and 2, best version of myself. After 8 p.m., energized again.
That's a very specific internal schedule.
Most people have one. They just haven't mapped it.
This is actually where the science becomes interesting.
What does it say?
Chronotypes, we covered this briefly in EP09, are real biological preferences. They're partly genetic. You can shift your chronotype somewhat through consistent routine, but you can't fundamentally change it.
So forcing an owl to be a lark just makes an exhausted owl.
Which is what a lot of the 5 a.m. culture actually produces. People performing a morning routine that doesn't fit their biology and feeling guilty when it collapses.
Because they think it's a discipline failure.
When it might be a biology mismatch.
That's a genuinely useful reframe.
The research also shows that the most important variable isn't when you wake up. It's consistency. Going to sleep and waking at the same time every day, regardless of whether it's 6 a.m. or 8, produces better sleep quality than varying wildly.
The schedule matters more than the time.
Your body likes predictability. Even an owl benefits from a consistent schedule.
Can I tell you about the one period of my life when I was genuinely a morning person?
When was this?
About 3 years ago, I had a project I was genuinely excited about. Something creative, entirely mine. And I started getting up at 6 to work on it before the day started.
You started it, not a routine.
Exactly. The excitement woke me up. I wasn't forcing it. I wanted to be there.
And when the project ended?
Heh, back to 9 o'clock. The motivation was the project, not the time.
Which is interesting, because the early morning people I know who sustain it aren't disciplined in the punishing sense. They have something they want to get to.
The alarm is an announcement, not a punishment.
That's the version that works long term.
Word tour. 6 words from today.
Definition, natural example, mini dialogue, upgrade phrase. Word 1. Chronotype. chronotype. Noun.
Your chronotype is your biological preference for when you are most alert, active, and functional during the day. day. Early chronotypes, larks, naturally peak in the morning. Late chronotypes, owls, naturally peak in the evening. Most people are somewhere in between. It's partly genetic and hard to permanently override.
Example, understanding her chronotype changed how she planned her day. She stopped scheduling creative work in the morning when she was merely functional and moved it to the afternoon when she was genuinely sharp.
Mini dialogue. Why do you never schedule calls before 10?
My chronotype. I'm not at my best before mid-morning. I've learned to protect the hours when I'm sharp and accept that the early ones are for simpler tasks.
Upgrade phrase. Instead of I'm not a morning person, try my chronotype leans late. I function fine in the morning, but I don't hit my peak until mid to late morning. I've built my day around that rather than fighting it.
Word 2. Alert. A-L-E-R-T. Adjective.
Alert means mentally sharp, attentive, and ready to respond. The opposite of sluggish or foggy. You can be awake without being alert. Most people have a window in their day when they are naturally most alert. That's the time for the hardest work.
Example, she was awake by 7 but not properly alert until 9. She'd learned to use the gap for simple tasks, emails, admin, routine, and save the demanding thinking for when the fog had cleared.
Mini dialogue. Are you ready for this? Now?
I'm awake. I'm not sure I'm alert enough for this particular conversation. Give me another coffee and 20 minutes.
Heh. Honest answer.
Upgrade phrase. Instead of I'm not awake yet, try I'm up but not fully alert. Give me until 9 and I'll be useful. Before that, I'm technically present and practically elsewhere. Word 3. Productive. P-R-O-D-U-C-T-I-V-E. Adjective.
We covered productivity in EP09, but in the context of early versus late, the specific meaning is a productive period is one where your output is highest and your effort feels most returned. Not all hours are equally productive, and knowing which hours are yours is genuinely useful information.
Example. His most productive hours were between 10 and 1. He'd spent years trying to use the morning for deep work before realizing he was fighting himself. Shifting everything to mid-morning improved both the output and the experience.
Mini dialogue. How do you get so much done?
I've mapped my productive hours. I protect 10 to 12 for anything that requires real thinking. Everything else happens around that window.
You're not working harder. You're working in the right hours.
Upgrade phrase. Instead of I try to be productive, try I've identified my most productive hours and I protect them fiercely. What I do in those 2 hours often matches what takes all day when I'm fighting the wrong time of day.
Word 4. Ritual. R-I-T-U-A-L. Noun.
We covered ritual in EP09 as a routine with meaning. In the early versus late context, whether you're a morning person or a night person, a ritual is the signal that transitions you into your best mode. The morning ritual for an early bird, the evening ritual for a night owl. The content matters less than the signal.
Example. His night ritual was simple. T, no screens for the last 30 minutes, the same sequence every evening. It wasn't about wellness. It was a signal to his brain that the wind down had begun. Without it, he'd lie awake for an hour, regardless of tiredness.
Mini dialogue. How do you actually switch off?
Ritual. Same sequence every night. It sounds boring, but it works. My brain has learned that this sequence means sleep is coming. It stops resisting.
So you've trained yourself.
Very gently, with repetition.
Upgrade phrase. Instead of I have a bedtime routine, try I have an evening ritual that signals the transition. Not a strict schedule, a consistent sequence that my brain recognizes as the beginning of the end of the day. Word 5. Sacrifice. S-A-C-R-I-F-I-C-E. Noun and verb.
A sacrifice is giving up something valuable for something else you consider more important. In the early versus late debate, both choices involve sacrifice. Early risers sacrifice late evenings. Night owls sacrifice mornings. Neither is free. The question is, which sacrifice fits your life and your values better?
Example. The sacrifice she'd made was the social late evenings, the dinners that ran until midnight, the events that started at 9. She'd made it deliberately, knowing what she was trading for the quiet, productive mornings. It wasn't a loss. It was a choice.
Mini dialogue. Don't you miss being out late?
Occasionally, but I know what I'd be sacrificing if I shifted back. The mornings, the clarity, the feeling of having done something before the day even officially starts. The trade doesn't work for me.
Upgrade phrase. Instead of I can't stay out late, try I'm not willing to sacrifice my mornings for it. That's a trade I've made consciously. I know what I'm giving up and what I'm getting. It works for me right now. Last word. Compromise. C-O-M-P-R-O-M-I-S-E. Noun and verb.
A compromise is an agreement where both sides get something to reach a workable solution. In the context of sleep and schedule, most people's
people's lives require some compromise between their natural chronotype and the demands of the world around them. The early riser with a partner who stays up late, the night owl with a 9 a.m. job.
Example, they had different chronotypes, and it had taken a while to compromise on a household rhythm that worked for both. An earlier dinner than he wanted, a later start than she preferred. Neither ideal, both workable.
Mini dialogue. Does it work having such different schedules?
We found a compromise. I stay up later than I'd like on the nights that matter to her. She gets up earlier than she'd like on the mornings that matter to me. Neither of us is fully happy. Both of us are fine with it.
Which might be the definition of a good compromise.
Upgrade phrase. Instead of we manage, try. We've reached a compromise that actually works. It required each of us giving something real, not a token gesture, and the result is something neither of us would have designed, but both of us can live with.
That's the word tour. Chronotype, alert, productive, ritual, sacrifice, compromise.
6 words for the daily negotiation between your biology and your life. Let's close. I said stay up late. Claire said wake up early.
And neither of us is wrong, because chronotype is real, and forcing the wrong one produces an exhausted person performing a routine that doesn't fit.
The most important variable isn't when, it's consistency.
And having something you actually want to get to.
Which makes the alarm an announcement rather than a punishment.
Comment challenge, early bird or night owl. And what do you actually do in that time? One sentence, in English, in the comments.
Subscribe, give it a like, share it with someone who's currently judging you for your sleep schedule.
I'm Claire.
I'm Ethan. Whatever time you wake up, make it consistent. That's the part that matters.
Real English Lounge. See you next time.
Your English journey doesn't end here.
Keep listening, keep learning, and keep speaking.
Choose your next conversation.
We'll see you in the next episode of Real English Lounge.